on widening I-66 inside and outside?
It's always nice when the question that you start with is a really easy one, so I appreciate it. I'm a member of the Transportation Commission here in Arlington. We have been unequivocally opposed to the widening of 66. It's my understanding that it is off the table for at least the next 25 years, and I think that's exactly my position. I do not support it. I have questions about the toll lanes as well. I think they're further along, and I think that they probably will happen. But in terms of the widening of 66, I yield the balance of my time to tell you that I'm absolutely opposed to them.
In the year 2000, I went to a meeting. I got a flyer. I was president of the Civics Donaldson Run Civic Association, and somebody stuffed a flyer in my door, talking about basically the end of Lorckham Lane, Lee Highway, Wilson Boulevard, Washington Boulevard. There's all these streets listed, and I thought, oh my God, I got to go find out what this is all about and report back to my neighborhood. Well, basically, I got to a meeting, and probably more people than this actually over in Boston, NRECA. And unfortunately, by the end of the night, I found out that I was now a founding member of the Arlington Coalition for Sensible Transportation, ACST. And our mission, we decided, was to oppose the wholesale widening of I-66, which is a position that I still hold today. And coincidentally, my wife and I commute on I-66. So if it was wider, and widening was such a great idea, theoretically it would be better for us. But I don't think that it would be. I think the bottlenecks are truly outside the Beltway, and there's just some problems that should not be dealt, that will not be solved by that. I am opposed to the hot lanes because the only reason the road hasn't been widened is because they didn't have money to do it. And I don't want to pay tolls to do that.
So I am really disappointed that the county board seems to be at least softening in its historically held approach to not wanting to widen 66 and to instead invest in transit-first alternatives to move people through this area. I think it is a capitulation, at least as it appears, of epic proportions that hasn't really gotten full play in the public sphere. This is a departure from where Arlington has been, a leader in a transit-first development, moving people around our area. Widening 66, whether it happens in 25 or 40 years, seems to be the consequence for some investments, some carrots, excuse me, that are going to be given our way today. And that's not the way I think we should go about planning for our transportation future. I think the evidence is clear. Widening roads doesn't produce the necessary benefit. Investments in transit do. And the other alternatives that are also being implemented, the Lexus lanes or the Jaguar lanes or whatever you want to say, but requiring that people actually pay to ride a road that they helped build, to me, absolutely unconscionable.
I like Lexus lanes. I think that the widening is something we should not ever agree to. I think we can oppose it for a long time. I fear that one day it will be forced upon us, but that won't be because we agree to it. I think that a closer issue is the toll lanes. It's common sense to me that if you put a toll on the road, you're going to push off the people who are less able to pay the tolls. They will come onto Lee Highway, they will come onto Arlington Boulevard because they still have to get to work every day. It's going to put traffic in our neighborhoods. I think, so they're a bad choice, and they will simply reward those who have the money to pay for it and can get in faster without traffic, and not a good idea.
So the short answer is, like others, I am opposed. I think we know that pouring more concrete is a short-sighted solution, right? You end up with new development in our surrounding jurisdictions going up, more people driving to work. You have the same congestion you started with, plus more cars. Not a great policy strategy, and not one in which I'm in favor. The only thing I would note, we've talked a little bit about, I think, in prior questions, kind of temperament and how we proceed and how we engage in our decision making. And one of the reasons I'm not quite as quick to censure the current county board for its kind of willingness to listen to some of our partners. I think it reflects a little bit actually of wisdom, because we do have some surrounding jurisdictions that are feeling a little skeptical of us because of commitments we may have backed out of with respect to transportation. And so I think our willingness, the Kern County Board's willingness to say what we value is multimodal improvements, what we value is the air quality analysis, and we're willing to listen, is actually not the worst thing. Again, I'm not in favor of widening. I think it's short-sighted. But I do think we should be listening to and at least demonstrating some willingness to hear from the needs of our surrounding jurisdiction as we look to get to a regional transportation solution.